continue the halachot of Havdala. The Shulchan Aruch writes, Siman Resh Tzadivav, that a person, when he does the Havdala, we know we have to do a couple things. There's a story about the Ben Ish Chai. They said, how do you remember the order of how you do Havdala? So he says, you have to go and do according to the face. He says, you go from the bottom to the top. He says, in the beginning, you make a gefen, right? After the psukim, you say savarena, you say a gefen. You don't drink, but you say the bracha of a gefen. That's the mouth. What comes after the mouth? The nose. You make besamim. After the nose comes the eyes. You're going to make borei more'esh. And the last bracha you make is with the brain, mabdil. You do with that. You have to have in your mind between Shabbat and Chol. You make a note in your mind. This he used to say when he was little. He said this answer. This is how you remember the order of the Havdala. So the Gemara, Shulchan Aruch writes that that you should have the cup of the wine, and you should hold in your left hand the cup of wine in your right hand, and you should hold the besamim in your left hand. You should be holding it already when you're making a gefen, and you're going to make besamim after. You should go and hold it already in your left hand. When you finish a gefen, you should switch and hold the wine in your left hand and hold the besamim in the right hand. Say the bracha on besamim. Even when you go and make a bracha on borei ha'esh afterwards, you should still be holding the cup in your left hand. Finally, when you get back to the bracha mavdil, you should go and switch back to the cup of wine being in your right hand. So therefore, you should not put it down unless you feel it's going to fall, you feel like you can't. You're allowed to put it down, but preferably, according to Gemara Masechet Brachot Mem Gimel Amud Bet, when you're having in mind to say a bracha with another bracha following it, you should hold the second item in your other hand as well. Now, but it's enough with one hand. It's enough with one hand.
He's holding the cup.
He's holding the cup in the left hand. He put the besamim down, and he's going to go.
Anyway, put it down.
Yes, you're going to put the besamim down because we finished with it. We didn't finish with the cup though. So therefore, that's the proper thing to do over there. Now, when it comes to besamim, the Gemara Masechet Brachot Nun Aleph Amud Bet 51b tells us that a person should make sure to say besamim in the Havdalah. The commentaries, Rishonim, explain to us that mainly the reason why we smell the besamim is because Neshama Yitra left us. We had an extra part of our soul on Shabbat, and therefore we are more sad that Shabbat is over, and preferably it's also sad that with our Neshama Yitra left, the extra soul left. So therefore, we smell the samim to wake us up and to give us simcha, to give us that pick-me-up that the smelling does. And therefore, over there, when a person takes the besamim, the minhag of Ashkenazim is to say borei minei besamim. Whatever the besamim is, they always say borei minei besamim. However, the minhag of Sfaradim, if it's atzeh, you used to make atzeh, right? If it's something that grows from a tree, so you say atzeh besamim. If it's something that grows from the ground, borei itzbei besamim. So therefore, a person, if it's something that's neither, so you say minei. But the minhag is to say the appropriate bracha based on what the besamim are. So if a person is holding something that's atzeh, he should say atzeh, he shouldn't just say binei. That's the most preferable thing to do. And the last thing is, in Siman Resh Tzadi, it says over there that a person should make the blessing on the candle. The Gemara Masechet Psachim Nun Vav Nun Aleph 56a tells us that Adam Rishon, he discovered fire when? On the Motzei Shabbat. When the first day he was created, it was a Friday, right? And then it was the Shabbat. On the Motzei Shabbat, he thought there was going to be the end of the world once he saw that it was getting dark. So then Hashem revealed to him the idea of striking two things together creates a fire. And Zecher of this, he discovered fire on Motzei Shabbat. So therefore, we say a blessing of thanking Hashem for this that we have fire, and we do it borei morei ha'esh. We do this Motzei Shabbat. So therefore, a person should know that all these steps are critical in the Havdalah. He should try to accomplish all of them preferably. Person, preferably, if he has family members, people listening to Havdalah with him, he should also give them besamim. He should also get them benefit from the candle. If you have a Beit Knesset that's big and not enough besamim for everybody, not enough Havdalah candles for everybody, so you should give in advance many pieces of besamim to everybody in advance, so they should also be able to smell. Or he should light multiple candles, multiple Havdalah candles, so there should be everyone be able to go and reach with their hand and benefit from the light of the candle. So we're going to go speak about the Havdalah candle more. But this is the basic idea of the Havdalah. I heard a beautiful story about a person who guarded the Shabbat, and the Shabbat guarded him. We say in the Tikiyah Shmera Shabbat, Eli Shmereni. When I guard the Shabbat will guard me. Hashem will guard me. There was two brothers who owned the jewelry store, and the alarm went off on Shabbat. They have connected to their phone alarm when someone breaks into the safe. So they had an alarm that went off on Shabbat, and they had a very big desire to go into, you say it's sakanat nefashot, if you have to go check on it, some broke to the safe. It was a very big desire on Shabbat, and they said to themselves, I'm not going to check. I'm not going to check, 5 minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, I'm going to check in 5 minutes. They kept telling themselves excuses not to check. They finally waited the whole Shabbat. The second Shabbat was over, they ran over there, they called the police, they made sure what to find out what happened, and the police were already there, and everybody was waiting for them. And they said, you're very lucky you didn't come earlier. He said, why? He says, because these robbers, these burglars, they're a certain type. They're what? What they do is, they don't want to just steal one thing, they want to steal everything. So they go and they trip the safe alarm, and they wait, because they know the alarm's connected to people's phones. They wait for the owners to come, they hide, and then they hijack the owner, and they steal, and they force him to open more things and take more from them. So these people, they tripped the alarm, they were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, you never came. So because you kept the Shabbat, they never got you, and we got there in time and we caught them. So therefore, a person has to realize when you keep the Shabbat keeps you. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.